Mic check, mic check. We should be good. It's Ace Attorney time. Let's go. Oh.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. So we were in the middle of establishing that man was given the pipe the suck, but we're not sure why. But we also think that Olive Green is going to be involved because of her old man. Not her old man, but her old boy.
Sounds like her.
Yeah, her dad. No, not like that. Not like that. For her boyfriend. But yeah, I think we're just kind of in the middle of that, so we'll just go into it. 23rd February, 11:32 a.m. The Old Bailey Defendant's Antechamber. Joyful, jubilant jumping jacks! Oh.
Oh, Mr. Natsume, I'm so pleased for you.
Locum student, Mr. Naruhodo Esquire, and non-locum judicial assistant, Miss Mikotoba Esquiress. Now, finally, at long last, there can be proof. Proof that I'm innocent, and proof that my tea is innocent. Ah, good morning, my dear fellows. Gah, Herlock Sholmes. A, you're late. B, he doesn't want to see you here. He was better off while you were late.
He was so excited, and you just brought back the anger.
May you drink my tepid tea and fall forever silent. Wait, I thought your tea was innocent.
Oh, Mr. Sholmes, you came. How wonderful.
Please, save your derision. I know what you're all thinking. Good morning, he says, when it's very nearly time for luncheon. Your scorn is written clearly across your faces. Nobody said or thought anything of the sort. The truth is, I was determined that today would be the day. As sleep seduced me last night, I thought, tomorrow for once I shall not oversleep. I'll rise early and be present in court to support my companions.
And yet you did it anyway.
Such spirited determination has a beauty all of its own, does it not?
Oh, yes.
And then I began to muse on the subject. Why do people oversleep, I queried. Why, time after time, do they make the same foolish blunder?
Because you stayed up wondering.
And the answer came to me at once. It's so delightfully simple. People oversleep because they sleep.
So you did.
Well, is that not an astute insight into the matter? So did you just try to not sleep, Sholmes?
Fell asleep late, and then you couldn't get up. I think
Oh,
that's what it is.
yes.
Upon which realization I attempted an experiment. I didn't sleep a wink all night. And the results?
All right,
By
well,
first light, I was exhausted and began to be assailed by fits of drowsiness. Shocking. And so the conclusion of last night's experiment is this. A good night's sleep is quite simply essential. Thanks, Sholmes. I know how to not oversleep. I will just never sleep. Oh, I get kind of sleepy though. Maybe I should sleep. Yes, I think most of us probably knew that already. What others presuppose, I prove by experimentation. And that, my dear fellow, is the scientific method. Ah yes, and one more thing. Do you remember this?
Oh,
Yes, of course, it's the poison that Miss Green was about to drink at the hospital yesterday. Oh, you didn't manage to. It was a laborious task as the bottle was near empty. But such inconveniences did not hinder Sholmes. I managed to confirm that it contained strychnine.
Aha!
So I was
The
right.
one that he was poisoned with.
Perhaps, though of course such circumstantial evidence doesn't prove Miss Green's guilt. I shall leave the bottle in your care now. But licking the inside of the neck is not recommended. The bottle of poison has been entered into the court record.
could I have a word?
Oh, it's you. Could I have a word? Gregson, how good of you to come. Forget it. Excuse me. Well, wait a minute, Inspector. Wait a minute. Yeah, he doesn't want to deal with him at all. I don't wish to make a nuisance of myself. From the look on your face, I'd say it's someone else who you think is making a nuisance of himself. My dear Inspector, please, speak freely. Pretend that I'm not here. Believe me, if I could do that, life would be a whole lot simpler for me.
Do you have the results, Inspector, of the investigation of Mr. Shamspeare's room?
Not yet. It shouldn't be long now, though. Nah, I'm here about something else. That dead convict, actually.
Oh, you mean the man from this newspaper article we discovered yesterday in Mr. Shamspeare's room? A man by the name of, yes, Selden.
Went through the archives at the yacht and dug out the fellow's file. There's something in there that, well, it caught my eye.
Something caught your eye? What, Inspector? What?
I've copied out the relevant parts for you, so you can read it for yourselves.
Thank you. Well, that's very forward and useful of you, Gregson.
Wow, Gregson's just outright helping him.
Yeah, that's very rare. Just outright help.
Without the bully telling him, do you want some tea?
Yeah,
Write a
exactly.
nice story about you.
Yeah, he did not need to be bribed. Capital offender's file has been entered into the court record. These documents include the details that were in the newspaper cutting we found in Mr. Shamspeare's room. I'll rearrange everything in the court record so we don't have duplicate information. Why are you giving us a copy of this important file, though?
Well, you're the ones who turned up the clue in the first place, aren't you? I'm just making sure things get handled in the proper fashion.
Oh, he's like, this is coming up after the recess, so...
Scotland Yard's workings are so wonderful.
Indeed, my dear fellows, and the inspector here is a shining diamond in its crown.
A shining diamond in the rough, maybe.
Look, I just don't want to be beholden to a lawyer, that's all.
Counsel for defense and the defendant. Okay, wait, let's look.
Recess over.
I want to look at this capital offenders file.
I want to look at it.
Yeah, you want to see this? 18 counts of burglary, 6 counts of suspected murder. Died of natural causes while in prison. His final moments witnessed only by his cellmate. He said 1,000 pounds worth of loot he stole remains uncovered. Unrecovered. It's in the room. Yo, the dude is Selden. Yo, Shamspeare is 100% Selden. And he's trying to get his booty.
Or he's the cellmate. He's Monte Cristo.
He's Monte. Yo, is he Monte Cristo? Oh my god. He's an evil one. Well, I mean, like a shitty Monte Cristo. I'm gonna kill that fucking guy, get the money.
Monte Cristo didn't have to kill anybody to get it.
Yeah, he didn't have to kill anyone to get the money. Manchester's Strangeway Prison announced the death of convicted murderer and burglar Selden by natural causes in the early hours of the morning. He had been suffering with fever since the end of October. Alerted by the shouts of his fellow cellmate, medical staff arrived to find him already dead before his capital punishment could be carried out. Alright, we gotta find out what happens to the body and how that gets dealt with. Because, Shams, yo, he got out in a body bag.
Counsel for the defense and the defendant. Get your asses back into court, please.
Yeah, okay. Let's do it.
Well, I shall leave you then. I'll be listening with interest from the public gallery. Not nodding off at all. Certainly not.
Thank you, Mr. Sholmes. I don't believe that for a second.
I'm rather tired of seeing Mr. Mustache in floods of tears, personally. So, best of luck to you.
Locum student, Mr. Naruhodo Esquire. Yes, Mr. Natsume? It's time, isn't it? Yes, this is it. Miss Olive Green and Mr. William Shamspeare. It's going to be the final battle. It's the ultimate showdown of ultimate destiny. I won't really have saved Soseki-san until I've exposed the whole truth of everything that's been going on. But it's all coming to a head now. You can do it, Ryunosuke. You have to! Would you like to save? No. We're past that point already. 23rd February, 12:30 p.m. The Old Bailey Courtroom.
In the name of Her Majesty the Queen, I hereby declare this court to be in session again now. Before the recess, we heard a most startling accusation from the defense. Namely, that the victim of the case we heard here only a few days ago is the true perpetrator of this incident.
A reckless, rash, and prejudiced charge of wrongdoing, in my opinion, my lord.
Prejudice? A prejudice charge, huh?
Yeah, you're no stranger to those.
The prosecution has tried to extend every courtesy to this amateur newcomer from dubious eastern shores.
No, you haven't. Thank you for that backhanded consideration.
A rather cold assessment from the honorable British prosecutor, I must say. Shit, man. You don't have to say it like that. So, Lord Van Zieks, is the new witness present and ready to take the stand?
Ready and waiting in the witness's antechamber, my lord.
Very well. Bailiff, bring the witnesses in.
Multiple witnesses. Oh, are we gonna get to see her painting? Oh, this guy.
Witnesses, state your names and occupations for the court, please.
William Shakespeare, my liege. For mine occupation, I can say only that I be a tragic victim to be pitied. That's not a job, jackass.
Currently unemployed, in other words.
I'm Olive Green. I'm a fledgling artist. Well, no. Not a fledgling, really. A hopeless failure who's too weak-spirited to admit she has no talent, I suppose.
Also, currently unemployed, in other words.
What a coterie.
Mr. Shakespeare.
My lord, I'm thy humble servant.
I'm afraid that you are no longer merely the victim in this affair. The possibility has been raised that you are in fact the assailant, intent on taking the life of your fellow lodger. The part you have played in this whole business will be thoroughly scrutinized, I assure you.
I would for naught else, my lord.
And Miss Green,
Yes?
you are aware of the reason you have been summoned to this courtroom today, I presume.
Yes, the officer did explain.
Oh, yo.
He said I poisoned this ridiculous buffoon.
I
like her.
I like her more than I did before.
Well, we felt bad for her.
We felt bad for her before, but now
Got some cheeriness.
I like her guts. And do you accept the charge, Miss Green?
I don't know anything about any poisoning.
Except for the poison that you did on
And
the rat.
I don't know anything about this man.
Come, lady. Die to live. Verily, I not know thy prickly pea-pigmented personage.
Very well, let us proceed with the matter at hand. That being, to ascertain whether or not Miss Green has any involvement in this affair.
It's all very strange indeed. Why would you suspect me?
She's like, I was in the house.
I barely ever go to the East End anyway. It so happens that I passed by that neighborhood 6 days ago, that's all. And on the night that this man was poisoned, I was still in hospital, fighting for my life.
Yes, having been unfortunately caught up in the incident on the street outside the Garadeb household. An incident that rendered you unconscious for some 3
I'm impressed
days.
she was wearing a hat. With that little bun right on
Oh
top
yeah,
of her
like
head.
it didn't push the hat up. No, it's to hold the hat in place. That little bun on top of her head.
I was struck in the middle of my back by a knife, though no fault of my own. And now I'm under suspicion? What other relevant things might I be suspected of? It's all very disturbing.
Your energies may be better spent worrying about random knife attacks, I feel, Miss Green.
At this point in time, all that appears to connect you with Mr. Shakespeare's lodging is the Briar Road incident of 6 days ago. That's why we would like you to testify formally now about exactly what happened.
Oh no! The incident 6 days ago. You You mean you want me to relive that awful accident?
Sure do.
Unfortunately, yes. Please tell the court what happened that day. And of course, we will be interested to hear from you about your movements that day too, Mr. Shamspear.
But what happened 6 days ago has nothing to do with me being poisoned. It has nothing to do with that.
Let us proceed then. The witnesses will present their formal testimony to the court on the subject of the incident that took place on Briar Road on the evening of the 17th of February.
His fucking doofy smile, man.
The evening of 17th February.
It was 6 days ago, at about 5 p.m. I was walking along in the snow when I was suddenly stamped in the back. Coincidentally, it happened to be just outside the house where the men in this case have their lodgings. How crazy is that?
I was at the tavern on the eve of which thou speakst, for I had bespoke my supper.
It was the first time I'd been in the area. I had a little matter to attend to, that's all. Anyway, I was admitted straight to hospital, so I knew nothing about all of this business.
Yes, a second incident inside a week at what I believe to be aptly described as the haunted lodgings. One can only presume this is a most unfortunate coincidence.
Meanwhile, you say you were not in your room, Mr. Shamspear.
I enjoyed that Van Zieks is like, hold up a second. I care about this now.
It was the following morn when I did awaken that I learned of the dire events. Mary, what a commotion did the officers of the law make on the floor above mine?
When Soseki-san was arrested on suspicion of attempted murder.
As suspected, there's nothing connecting these two witnesses but happenstance.
It's true. It does seem as though they're unrelated at first glance, but I'm not so sure. There's something lurking in the shadows here. I feel certain of it. And this is my one and only chance to expose it.
Counsel, you may now cross-examine these two witnesses if you wish.
Yes, my lord.
We do wish. We always wish.
The evening of 17th February.
6 days ago. Press! 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 Yeah, that day sucked, didn't it? I'm well acquainted with the case. I'm sorry you had to go through that.
It was awful. I still can't believe I was unconscious for so long. And I woke up to find that the case had been solved and the culprit arrested.
Yes, the incident has been resolved already. Perhaps it would help you to consider it a bad dream that ended with your awakening and should now be forgotten.
Yes, I suppose so. Thank you.
Except not. Please explain the bad dream.
Yeah, but before you put it completely behind you, Miss Green, I need you to remember the details one last time. You must tell the court exactly what happened that day, for us to arrive at the truth about this new case.
The trouble is, there's nothing to tell, really. I was just walking along the pavement.
I feel like I just want more context of, like, why she was there.
Well, because we're gonna bring up more
Yeah.
things. Like, don't we have it?
We only have our half of the paper. We do not have her half of the paper. What were you doing there that day, though? Oh, here.
What do you mean?
The art school you attend. What's it called?
Yes. It's the Thorndike Academy of Fine Arts.
According to Mr. Sholmes, that's just in the vicinity of Brixton Road, which is some 10 stops away from the scene on the underground.
I believe you mentioned before that you also live on Brixton Road. Isn't that right?
So why were you across?
So why then would you have been walking along Briar Road in the middle of the East End?
Well, it's because, oh yes, of course. I thought it might make a nice picture.
The witness is a student of art. City-dwelling artists can't all paint grand urban vistas.
That's right. I happen to like the crumbling look of that part of town.
And perhaps quaint would have been a less grating term.
The point is, she's definitely hiding. Yeah, the way.
Yes, I love drawing Hoboville. He's very scenic, he's new. I don't see often.
Yes, it seems she.
It seems she's not going to be forthcoming with the truth.
She's trying to hide why she was there that evening. Must mean there's a reason for her not wanting us to know. That's the key to this. You, Mr. Shamsphere, on the evening of the incident 6 days ago. Would you tell the court what exactly you were doing?
It would be my pleasure, sire. I was at the tavern on the eve of which that.
Okay, yeah. What'd you get?
Soup and salad again?
Soup and salad? A tavern, you say? Which one?
'Twas the Slug and Salad where I did tarry, and 'tis a jewel in the East End.
And a little unexpected, I feel.
You went there.
What do you mean, Lord Van Zeeks?
The Slug and Salad offers unusually fine dining, for the locality at least. Not an establishment you'd expect to be patronized by a man with not even a crumb of bread in his
You're too
room.
poor to eat there.
It's true. And the menu lists premium crusts of bread and glass of water in different levels of cloudiness.
I would have expected Grub's Grubbery in the local vicinity to be more appropriate for your means.
I like that you know all the restaurants.
Watery soup and mushy peas, or rather, soupy water and pea like mush.
All equally appetizing.
I just wanted to try some water in a different pub for once. What's wrong with that?
How different can water really be? Oh, yo.
That one
Oh, Dasani. Okay, yeah, I'll mention this one.
definitely
Yo.
has a taste.
All water mostly tastes the same. I mean, tap water can taste different, you know, depending on where you go. But, like, most ball water tastes the same to me. However, if you get Dasani water, that water tastes like licking pennies. And it's the worst bottled water you can ever get. I would rather stay dehydrated than drink Dasani. Because Dasani makes you more thirsty, too. There's something in it that just makes you, like... There's got to be some salt in it or something that, like, undoes the hydration that water would do. Is dumb.
A specific reason why he had to go to that particular establishment.
Agreed. The fact that on that day of all days he dined at a place he wouldn't normally does stand out.
Because he was there for a meeting.
He was there for a meeting. So Mr. Shamsphere's own actions on the day of the incident 6 days ago were slightly suspicious. I wonder if we have some evidence that can explain those actions.
The envelope piece.
We don't, though. We don't have the rest of it.
Yeah, but bring it up.
You think I'll go for it? Yeah, okay.
Yeah.
Let's go for it. I think we might be missing context on the evidence piece. Mr. Shamsphere.
Yes, sire.
Never heard someone destroy Dasani so wholly. Listen, it's the one bottle of water I will say something about because I'm not a fan of it. Also, hi, Melchris. Thanks for swinging by. I won't speak loudly about a lot of bottled water, but that one just not
Some people who like it, though.
Oh, some people like it. Oh. On the day in question, is it not the case that you visited the Slug and Salad, a place you don't normally patronize, for a very particular reason?
I don't know what you're talking about. Pray, if thou hast some purpose, speakst.
Very well. I'll present the court with evidence. Evidence that explains why you had to be at the Slug and Salad that day. Namely, torn off end of an envelope.
Oh, good Horatio.
Oh no, it did not work.
There are more things in heaven and earth than are dreamt of in your philosophy.
Horatio?
I believe it's a line from Shakespeare's play Hamlet, Mr. Naruhodo.
Be it a line from the great Shakespeare or from this Mr. Shamsphere, the message is the same. My learned Nipponese friend is wide off the mark.
Hardly surprising. Yeah, I think we need the other note from her first. Hardly surprising given this witness's obtuse literary obsession.
I do wonder if there isn't perhaps some evidence that would explain why it was the slug and salad he visited.
I think we have discussed this issue enough. Let us return to the witness's testimony, please.
Gladly, I would do my bidding to Horatio. It was the first time I'd been in the area. I had a little matter to attend to, that's all.
What matter? What's the matter? What little matter, Miss Green? Please elaborate.
It was nothing, really. It's not worth mentioning.
If you remember, you mentioned it to it yesterday at the hospital.
Ah!
It was related to the card you were holding. Bring up the card, give it back, we need it. Miss Green, give us the card. Like two very obvious things. From memory, I believe the card contained a note that read, I have information regarding the death of Duncan Ross.
What does that matter? This has nothing to do with Duncan.
Oh, hey. You seem to be thinking of something. What do you know about Duncan? Mr. Shamspeare, do you have something to share with the court?
No. To be or not to be, that is the question. Ah, pray forgive me. The great bard's words springeth from me with ne'er a thought.
Don't tell me. It's because you're possessed by Shakespeare's spirit, right? Hearing Miss Green's word a moment ago seemed to make you think of something. Something of relevance, perhaps?
Well, nay, sire. 'Twas nothing at all.
Presumably you know the name, though. Mr. Duncan Ross, I mean. After all, you were both lodgers in the same house.
I would it was so, but sadly nay. Lodging be a lonely occupation, sire. My lodging fellows be rarely known to me.
Shamspeare, you punk! Yeah, I know. What a dingus. So you haven't heard of him, even though he passed away in the room just one floor above yours?
And you really, really wanted his room?
I really wanted his room.
Miss Green.
Me, my lord? Have I done something wrong?
The card that was mentioned before, containing the note. Do you have it upon your person?
I do, yes, but I don't need it anymore. In fact, I should throw it away, really.
Before you dispose of it, the court will take it as evidence, please.
Miss Green's card has been entered into the court record. Okay, yeah, there you go. Now, this is what we have to show him.
Yeah. And then he'll be like, that's not related to me. And then we'll go,
That's what links Mr. Shamspeare and Miss Green. It's Duncan Ross.
Now, continue with your testimony, please, Miss Green.
Okay, so we're gonna go back. We're just gonna go down that path.
Yeah, that we did before.
Chuk. Tavern. Why were you at the tavern? Let me just. Yeah, okay. Let me check the court record. Let me examine that note. Look at the note. Envelope has been ripped open rather carelessly, hasn't it? Miss Green strikes me as the type to open correspondence more neatly than that. Ah, what is it? The way the envelope is torn, I'm almost sure I've seen the exact same shape somewhere else.
Oh, you don't mean... Were you thinking of this piece of evidence? Mr. Naruhodo?
Also, I totally read what you said, but I didn't say hi. Hi, Mina. Hope you're doing good. That's it. Try to match them up. We now have a single piece of big evidence.
They go together perfectly. This torn off end of the envelope clearly belongs with this card.
Oh yeah. Both evidences have been updated. Anything else? We're all check marks. Okay. Good. Slow work, listening, I'll break. Ah, okay, cool. Figured. Hope work's going well. I hope your Animal Crossing is going well. Hope you're getting some gyroids. Okay, so we'll press this. Why'd you go somewhere fancy? That seems out of your budget. Da-da-dum. I like Shamspear's shocked face. Oh, hey. I don't have to mash, I could just hold B? What?
That's the best.
Oh my god.
New discovery.
New discovery, what, like 60 hours into these games? I could have just held B for mashing.
It might have not worked in the first.
It might not have worked in the first game. Thanks for
We
that.
don't know.
I'm sure it would have. I found one gyroid piece so far. Oh, this is when it's time to start making multiple characters so you can get multiple gyroid pieces a day. That's the tech. Evidence that can explain those actions. Yes, we will present evidence. Mr. Shamspear. Yes, sire. On the day in question, is it not the case that you visited the Slug and Salad, a place you don't normally patronize, for a very particular reason? I don't know what you're talking about. Pray, if thou hast some purpose, speakst.
Here's
Okay.
the evidence we presented last time. But the other side.
Do you think it matters which of these halves I present?
I'm going to big half since we haven't
Yeah.
tried the small half.
Let's go with the big new thing. I believe this card reveals the answer.
Good lord! Miss Green's card, you mean?
That's right, my lord. It reads, I have information regarding the death of Duncan Ross. Come to the Slug and Salad on Briar Road at 5 p.m. on the 17th. Don't tell anybody else about this letter or the meeting. It is a matter of utmost importance. Oh, hello, Poops. How goes it tonight? How you doing? You ready to solve some crimes? Solve some mystery with this friggin' Shamspear dingus? Your actions on the afternoon of Miss Green's stabbing are exactly as described in this note. Ah. Personally, I find it hard to believe that's a coincidence. Don't you, Mr. Shamspear?
Well... Excuse me, can I say something?
Yes, Miss Green?
That card was delivered to me. It doesn't have anything to do with this odd man, does it?
Well, you'd think so, yes, but it's hard to believe it's merely...
My lord, may I?
Oh. Umbrellis' awesome girl voice acting. Oh man, yep, I hope you're ready for it. Oh, she's gonna say they're not related, but we're gonna present the second half of the envelope.
That fits it perfectly.
Oh, yeah.
My lord, may I?
May you what, Miss Green?
I'd like to make something very clear about that card.
Very well then, you may amend your testimony to include details about the peculiar note.
And this note was delivered to me at my address. It has nothing to do with the odd man next to me here.
That's just not true. That is just dead ass not true. This half of it was in his room.
Yes, it was.
The day before the incident, exactly 1 week ago now, this note was delivered to your address. And upon carrying out the instructions in the note, you found yourself in hospital.
Yes, I did. It's terrible, everything that's happened to me.
It is. We're not.
Yeah, too
denying
easy.
that.
Yeah, it is terrible. If it's all true, that is.
What do you mean?
Miss Green, have a look at this, please. It's the torn off end of an envelope.
Oh, is it?
And it so happens that it fits together perfectly with the envelope of the note you received.
Ba, ba, ba.
Where did you find that?
In Mr. Shamspear's room.
In my room?
Yep, that's the one.
Mr. Shamspear, do you perhaps remember this note from somewhere?
Well...
Your actions that afternoon follow the instructions in the note to the letter. Come to the Slug and Salad on Briar Road at 5 p.m. on the 17th. And so that's exactly where you went. Let me ask you again, Mr. Shamspear. You already knew about this note, didn't you?
Maybe.
And you, Miss Green?
What did I do?
As this torn-off end of the envelope proves, the note was originally in Mr. Shamspear's room. So how is it that came to be in your possession? Yo, he be sweaty right now. He be sweaty right now. And yeah, Shamspear, don't lie. Don't do the number one thing you've been doing this entire
All
time.
he does is lie.
I don't think he said a single true statement.
I don't have the first idea. I'm just a fledgling artist after all.
There's only one explanation. You broke into Mr. Shamspear's room and stole it.
Ba, ba, ba.
You did what? Sorry, you did what? Thou hast what? You broke? Thou wert in my room? Oh, his act is falling apart.
Can't keep his composure.
What on earth do you want with me? Oh, his act and accent are falling apart.
It would seem that both witnesses need to testify again.
Miss Green,
Yes.
whilst you have the court's sympathy, I'm sure, for the suffering you have endured in recent events, anyone found to be giving false testimony in court of law will be duly punished. Please bear that in mind.
Oh,
Yes, I know.
Very well then. Witnesses, you shall give formal testimony again now. But this time, no lying. Now, on the subject of this curious anomaly, regarding the note of Miss Green claims to have received. I'm checking behind your backs to make sure no one's crossing their fingers this time.
the anomaly of the note.
I do remember now. 'Twas a week ago, pre-adventure. That note was delivered unto me. On the day writ wherein I did tarry a long hour to the Slug and Salad, yet nobody came. Thereafter, on the evening I shared the company of the Japanese fellow, I did see the note had vanished. I don't know what you mean. You think I snuck into this man's room, do you? Why would I?
For that, no.
I can point out the villain here. And as for a torn-off piece of the envelope, I don't know anything about it.
You now claim to have received this letter, do you, Shamspear?
Faith, 'tis so, my lord. And I would swear to have it set upon the table in my humble lodgings. Yet, 'tis clear to me now that since I returned from the tavern that night, I have not laid idle eyes upon it.
Well, that being the case, young lady, it would appear that your testimony was...
A lie? Is that what you think? How unfair of you to think I'm the one lying.
I beg your pardon.
I'm just a fledgling artist, as I said, and fledgling artists don't lie.
Aww, Miss Green, I trust you less now.
That note was delivered to me at my address. Besides, we all know who the liar around here is.
He is a liar. It's true.
That's true, Miss Green. How do you explain the facts? This part of the envelope was, without question, found in Mr. Shamspear's room.
I don't see why I should explain.
Sorry?
I'm a fledgling artist. My job here is just to say what happened, that's all. It's your job to give the explanations and the proofs. You, the fledgling lawyer.
You can't just say, you figure it out. That doesn't fly in court.
That's pretty much what everybody in this court does to us.
Although, I guess that's you're allowed to against me. The fledgling will do his best.
Evidently, my learned friend's cross-examination is our only hope of learning the truth.
Well, counsel,
I'm ready, my lord.
very well then. The defense will now proceed with the cross-examination of the witnesses.
Miss Green did break into Mr. Shamsby's room. There can be no question of that. And that's how she acquired the note.
Yes, two facts are starting to lead me to a possible explanation for all this. And it's not a pretty one. No. Anomaly of the note.
It was a week ago, pre-adventure. That note was delivered unto me.
How? Who?
Yeah.
When?
Who dropped it off?
Can you shed any light on the contents of the note at all?
Nay, sire, 'tis as strange to me as a foreign tongue. Even with a knowledge of literature as great as mine, own verily, 'tis impenetrable.
Mr. Duncan Ross had lodgings in the same household as you. In effect, he was your neighbor, so surely you knew him, didn't you?
I'm just going to say no, 'cause you can't prove that. Alack, if the choice is betwixt I knew him and I knew him not, then 'tis with foreboding that I be forced to declare we were by some small measure acquainted.
I gotta go back to work, hope I don't miss too much. Oh man, I mean, this case is probably gonna finish, so...
Yeah, we're
Probably gonna finish this. But yes, bye Mina. Have a good work. Despite your claims though, you followed the note's instructions and went to the Slug and Salad. Presumably, that was nothing to do with your knowledge of literature?
Marry, naught will have the better of me, sire, save for the lure of curiosity. So 'tis true, I was compelled by mine own eager heart to betake myself to the tavern. The fact that I went there at 5 p.m., just like the note said, on the day that the note said, was mere coincidence.
I just
Even though I'm
some
poor,
fancy water.
even though I'm poor as fuck, and was going to eat soap. Yet in the end, my curiosity was not satiated. On the day writ therein, I did tarry a long hour at the Slug and Salad, yet nobody came.
So even after waiting for an hour, nobody appeared.
Well, yes, sire. 'Tis as thou sayest.
Really? You paused for a moment before you answered.
In truth, when thou asked whether nobody appeared, I did suddenly recall.
Really?
I feel like I'm tripping whenever there's added dialogue compared to the subtitle. Oh, but I just add some extra words in there.
Okay, adds them in very smoothly, and then you're like, wait, did they actually say that?
I think that things I say are in character. I think it's fine. I don't think I'm doing any heavy editing to the speech that's being said.
I mean, you don't necessarily use the same wording they would use, but you don't go off the tone of the message.
Oh well, that's how you have to sell it. Yeah, you gotta keep it consistent. You gotta keep the feel
Because you
consistent.
definitely throw in swears that
Oh, yeah.
be in the game, but it's still what they're talking about.
I think if I cut off my curse words, I could probably get away with just like adding complete
Because that's
dialogue
what makes
boxes.
people go, wait a second.
Keep it up. Will do.
Really? Do you mean to tell the court that somebody did appear after all?
I was not alone that night at the Slug and Salad, my lord. No, it is returning to me now. I did treat my lips to almost clear water, and mine innards to a premium crust of bread.
Just like clear water and bread crust, is that
Different.
that's what you go for?
Different clearnesses of
Oh,
water.
different clearnesses of water.
He got almost clear.
I mean, to be fair, back in the day, that was probably a hella luxury.
And all around me danced a great many companions.
Well, what do you mean?
Water party! Flies.
Oh, flies.
Flies.
Oh, good lord.
In the name of Beelzebub, what were they? Fairies, perchance, from a midsummer night's dream, come to taunt me.
I think they were just flies.
I can't help thinking that flies ought to choose something more wholesome to buzz around.
Yeah, I was gonna say,
Is that wrong of me?
why are flies in
No, that's fine, Susato, because they found the garbage in the room.
Thereafter, on the evening I shared the company of the Japanese fellow, I did see the note had vanished.
Hold it!
When exactly did you notice it gone missing?
Such idle thoughts ne'er occupy my mind. I'm busied with greater ideas.
In other words, you didn't notice.
Several days passed between your outing to the tavern, Mr. Natsume's visit to your room.
Yes, it would appear that the note disappeared sometime in that interval.
Such idle thoughts ne'er occupy my mind. I'm busied with greater ideas.
You said that already.
And yet during that time, Miss Green was comatose in hospital, was she not? Clearly then, she could not have been stealing things from Mr. Shamspeare's room.
Yes, of course. Of course. It's all some sort of misunderstanding, isn't it, Mr. Prosecutor, sir?
Zeke's is like, I don't trust either of you guys right now. He's like, this note is insanely suspicious.
It is.
You have so far failed to give a satisfactory explanation as to how you came by the note.
Oh, he's not gonna
I'm
help
not
you.
here to advocate for your defense, madam. I won't tolerate inconsistencies in your story. You would do well to remember that.
Wow. I feel like
Oh,
this is
dearie me.
the least on anybody's side. He
Yeah, this is-
goes, so you forgot that this happened.
Yeah, this
Correct.
is the most neutral we've ever seen Zeke's. Because normally he would start leading the witness into saying what he wants them to say.
Yeah.
What he wants them to say.
Dearie me.
What's Lord Van Zeke's getting at? Zeke's is like, even I find this is like ridiculous.
I don't know what you mean. You think I snuck into this man's room, do you? Why would I?
It seems that this note was actually delivered to Mr. Shamspeare about 1 week ago.
Oh, does it?
But for some reason it ended up in your possession. I can't think of any way that could have happened except for you breaking into Mr. Shamspeare's lodgings.
Objection!
But for what reason would the witness have done that?
Oh,
I won't deny that Miss Green's possession of the note would appear to defy logic. However, until and unless her involvement in this case can be proven in some other way, any further pursuit of this note is meaningless.
Miss Green could only have come to be in possession of the note by stealing it from Mr. Shamspeare's room. And yet, there's no obvious reason why she would have done such a thing.
what if there was some other reason she broke into his lodgings, though?
Yes, we should pursue that idea, Mr. Naruhodo.
We're close now. I can feel it. We're so close to a breakthrough. Last thing to press.
The villain here. As for the torn-off piece of the envelope, I don't know anything about it.
Okay, we'll do the last press just to see what we get.
Because we always want to find it.
So you don't want to tell the court the truth about the letter. Is that it?
I'm a fledgling artist, remember? Artists are nearly always introverted characters.
That's not true.
Introverted. Fie, this fledgling doth readily cast aspersions about my nature. Yet I'm an angel, a seraph. Birds do harmonize with my song. The wind doth frolic on my wing. Oh pity, wherefore... Okay, I like this new dance. This one's a good one. Oh pity, wherefore dost thou accuse one so pure of heart, ample woman?
Pure of heart? I don't think so. Even a fledgling like me can see her just a failure.
Oh.
Oh, tragedy. Thou shalt not know the true heart of an artist until thine instruction hereafter by death. I'm getting nightmares tonight of this dingus dancing around. Oh, the days, oh, the years. Alas, to enlighten thee, thou must wait so long and in vain. Mr. Naruhodo, interject with some clever remark.
We don't have clever remarks.
This is your chance to shine.
I'm no Shakespearean actor, Miss Sasato. No, as far as I can tell, the only thing that's going to resolve this argument is evidence.
Is evidence, yes.
Okay.
Clear that Miss Green did in fact break into Mr. Shamsier's room, isn't it? And that's where she found this letter.
Yes, two more or less foregone conclusions that lead me to one terrifying conclusion.
Terrifying?
Yes, I'm afraid to say that the outcome of this cross-examination may well change how we look at this case completely.
I do remember now. 'Twas a week ago, peradventure, that note was delivered unto me.
That's probably fine. Day I was there, that's fine. Shared the company of the Japanese fellow, the note vanished. I don't know what you mean. You think I snuck into his room? Why would I? Why would I sneak into this man's room?
The treasure.
Photo of Ross?
No, the treasure.
I-
The article that says there's a treasure.
Oh.
Oh, what were you saying?
This is being
about-
sent to Green.
Okay. then
So-
no,
so
she's
Selden
going
photo?
For Ross.
You think it's for Ross? Okay. Let's go Ross stuff.
Objection!
It is not the Ross stuff.
Is she after the treasure? What?
Oh yo, what if? Okay, we messed up. Ow. Yo, is Miss Green after the treasure? That's more wild.
Is the treasure just the money that Duncan was saving for them to get married?
Is the Let's examine this. Yeah, let's try this.
Objection!
Nope, it is not the treasure note. Okay.
Well, that makes me happy.
Okay, good. Miss
hope she's not in it for
Miss
the money.
Green is not super evil in it for that. Hum.
She snuck in his room for poisoning him.
She's stuck into the room to poison him.
Give him
Ooh, yeah. Yeah.
Objection!
Here you go. You wanted to right. We accused her of this in the first place.
Yes.
Let's follow through. Yesterday at the hospital, we saw you with this bottle. And though the contents spilled during the course of our meeting, a small quantity remained.
Sorry for the bad eating, but I was getting a dryroid. I got it in the end.
According to the defense's independent analysis, Mr. Shom's chemistry set, the liquid that was still in the bottle was identified as strychnine. What? Strychnine? The very same poison that afflicted Mr. Shamspear.
Listen.
Oh, even he's surprised. Miss Green, you broke into this man's lodgings for one reason, and one reason alone. To cover the end of the pipe that feeds the gas lamp in Mr. Shamspear's room with poison. Yo, he's looking over, he's like, what the f-
He's like, it was you? He actually believed
Can-
it was Soseki part.
Can this be?
You broke into my room? To... It may seem incredible to the court. But from the remaining clues, there's only one logical conclusion that we can reach. The person who attempted to take Mr. Shamspear's life with poison was you, Miss Olive Green.
Wow.
Oh dear. Oh dear. Oh dearie.
Unexpected.
Oh me.
She has 180'd.
It's never the ones we suspect.
Huh.
We thought it was
Yeah, I thought this was just gonna be a ploy.
the girl of the Bobby couple,
Mm-hmm.
and then it was the Bobby, and we thought Miss Olive Green was just poor
Yeah.
Olive
Well,
Green.
I thought the revenge arc was plausible. I was thinking of that.
Order! Counsel, are you seriously suggesting this woman put poison on the end of the gas pipe with intent to kill?
Yes, my lord. There's no other way to explain the facts.
What if Miss Green did indeed set this odious trap 6 days ago, and the victim had put his mouth to the pipe that very evening as expected? The attempted murder would have happened 6 days ago, surely.
That is a very good point.
Perhaps not, my lord.
I beg your pardon.
What?
There was a significant police presence in the area that evening on account of the incident on Briar Road. Local residents were being interviewed throughout the night as part of the ongoing
So he
inquiry.
couldn't blow his pipe.
Oh, he couldn't do his
murder
pipe blow
attempts.
because the cops were everywhere.
A circumspect criminal would likely have chosen not to carry out any wrongdoing at the time.
Lord Van Zeeks.
You're helping us.
And of course, the following morning, there was more activity at Mr. Shamspeare's address.
More activity. Yes. You mean his fellow lodger, Mr. Natsume, being arrested on suspicion of murder.
And that's right. And as the defense has already proposed, Mr. Shamspere was meddling with the gas in the pipe for a very sinister reason himself. To cause the gas stove in Mr. Natsume's room to go out, thereby asphyxiating the occupant.
Oh, and if he's not there, he doesn't have to give the pipe the suck. But once Mr. Natsume had been arrested, his room was under constant surveillance by the police. In the circumstances, Mr. Shamspere had no reason to blow air into the gas pipe.
His intended victim being in a prison cell. With the need to tamper with the gas removed, the poison on the pipe lay dormant.
And then, 3 days ago now, the situation changed again.
He came back.
Right, Mr. Natsume's trial, which took place here at the Old Bailey, came to an end.
The trial in which the man stood accused of stabbing Miss Green in the back, but was duly acquitted.
Thank you for including that. Everybody just stop.
Everyone says that he was accused of crime and then immediately neglect to say of which he was immediately acquitted.
So thank you, Judge.
Thank you, Judge. Thank you, Judge. That resulted in Mr. Natsume returning to his lodgings for the first time in 2 days. That makes 5 days. And then 6th night. Da-na-na. His stove mysteriously went out, and Mr. Shamspere was mysteriously poisoned. In conclusion, the poison that was present on the mouth of the gas pipe had been put there in the victim's room some 4 days earlier. Mary! She's on such a tall box. With that new understanding, it becomes clear that this letter was all part of the plan.
What plan?
The court will recall that the note gave instructions to visit the Slug and Salad at 5 o'clock, and that the recipient should tell nobody else. The reason for those instructions are now clear.
We should go into his room then.
To ensure that the lodger would not be at home at the stated time.
To make sure I wasn't home. Exactly. While you were out, Miss Green could safely slip into your room, knowing that she wouldn't be disturbed. You mean to say that letter was written by Miss Green? Yes. Oh, she took it back for evidence. In order to cover her tracks, she took it away with her when she left. Why did she not throw it out? Just after she smeared poison over the mouth of the gas pipe in your room. Whoa, damn. Okay, whoa, I didn't see this one coming.
Order! Order! What do you have to say for yourself, witness?
Just who are you? Why did you try to kill me?
Miss Green's motive should be obvious. It's all tied up with someone whose name we've heard several times already during the course of this trial.
So, that's what's behind all this.
You will share your apparent understanding with the court, please, counsel. Which person is behind this woman's motive for the attack on the victim's life?
Duncan Ross.
Bob Browse. Da-na-na.
Duncan Ross.
That's right. Before the defendant, Mr. Natsume, took up residence in the lodging at Mr. Garadeb's, somebody else was renting the room. Mr. Duncan Ross.
I knew I'd heard the name somewhere else. It was all over the papers a month ago when the man died in strange circumstances in the haunted lodgings. That does ring a vague. Oh, of course, yes. I remember now. The young man they claimed was strangled by the convict's curse or some such.
Sadly, my lord, it wasn't a curse of any kind, nor was it an accident. The man died as a result of Mr. Shamspeare blowing into the gas pipe and causing gas to leak into the room. It was a murder, plain and simple. Oh, she knows.
Well, what do you know? The world is so unfair. Curses, curious deaths. That's all people care about. If it's an interesting story they want to know, it doesn't cross their minds that real people are involved. And once they're bored, just 1 month later, once the story lost its appeal, everyone's forgotten him.
You mean you? Duncan was...
Mr. Ross was Mr. Green's fiancé. Mr. Ross was Miss Green's fiancé.
Fiancé?
You may not have known until now who Miss Green really is, Mr. Shamspeare. But she's known exactly who you are all along. Because you're her sworn enemy, the murderer who took the life of the man she was to marry.
Marry?
Miss Green, is it not the case that in order to exact revenge on Mr. Shamspeare, you smeared poison over the end of the gas pipe? Oh, she's not... They're both like, you're a murderer? No way.
This is all quite extraordinary. Am I correct in my understanding that you now accuse both parties, counsel?
Yo, double guilty, let's go!
Each on different counts of murder.
Yes.
Yeah, man, let's go 2-for-1 deal. You want an efficient jury system? Yo, we will get 2 people in jail instead of 1 tonight.
Is still innocent.
And Soseki remains innocent.
Don't forget that our person that we're defending.
We're defending a man.
Innocent.
Yes, my lord, that's correct.
Objection!
Inhaling so deeply, it appears that my fledgling learned friend has taken in a lungful of dubious gas that's causing his judgment to be clouded.
What?
Why would Mr. Shamspeare have wanted to kill these lodgers, as you say?
For the money.
You have completely failed to provide a motive to substantiate your accusations against the man.
He only defends Fancy Pants.
Yes, that's right, Mr. Reaper, my liege. I have been slighted. 'Tis lies, all lies. I deny every utterance.
You'll have to forgive me, Mr. Naruhodo, sir. But I don't intend to admit it at anything either.
Miss Green.
I'm sure you'll think I'm being very rude, but I'm not going to be sent to the gallows for the likeness of this scoundrel.
I like that she's holding it up like a sword and shield. Yo, Miss Green ready to strike.
Objection!
But you broke into the man's room. If you didn't do it to smear poison on the pipe, what was your reason?
I thought I'd have a look around, that's all.
Sorry?
You're right, I suspected him. So I thought perhaps I might find some evidence or something in his room. Evidence that it was him who took Duncan's life.
Oh vileness, oh villainy, oh tyranny, oh rotundity of woman.
Oh, that's just rude.
But in any case, whene'er I leave my room, I do turn the key in the lock.
That whole place is falling apart. The locks on the doors are no different. Duncan showed me once how to unlock the door with some turps and a piece of wire.
Why would you incriminate yourself?
Oh awfulness, oh tyranny, oh profanity of woman.
We will consider your trespassing on some future occasion, but for now, tell the court what you found, what evidence your search revealed.
Well, I spotted the note that I'd sent him lying on the floor. When I went to pick it up, I noticed something. One of the floorboards was loose, and underneath it I discovered the secret hiding
The
place.
box that we found that was empty wasn't actually
That
empty.
box was not empty when she found it.
Eh?
Yes, we also discovered that hiding place.
Inside, we found a newspaper cutting, a photograph, and an empty tin box. Ah, yes. Well, the thing is, when I found it, the box wasn't empty.
What? There was something in it.
Yes. This rather nice key.
Ah! Oh,
He's
fuck.
pissed now.
What are you doing with that?
What the?
Every ounce of color is drained from his face.
Give it here! Give it to me now! It's mine. I inherited it. What was that, witness? What did you say? You inherited it.
No, What's all this about? He inherited that key?
It was obviously important to you, since you'd gone to such lengths to hide it. So I took it. I don't know what it's for, but you took something precious from me. So I took something precious from you. So what if it means you can't open something now? I don't care.
Give it back this minute! Give it to me!
Calm yourself, witness.
So Mr. Shamspear has tried, and in one case succeeded, to take the life of 2 lodgers now. Yes, his motive for doing so is the key to everything that's happened. He was the other prisoner. It's true that there appears to be no motive to support the accusation against Mr. Shamspear, at first. But consider everything we now know, I think there's actually something that could explain it.
What?
I need to recall every piece of evidence at our disposal. Everything we've seen and heard. Because I'm sure that I just caught a glimpse of the link that runs through all these events.
In that case, counsel, I must demand that you present evidence to the court in support of your claim. What is it that you can say? What is it that you say can explain the motivation for Mr. Shamspear's alleged crimes?
Bop, 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 capital offenders file. Boop.
Take that!
That's an official police report, is it not?
The Selden file. How did you get hold of that?
Oh, a friendly detective
Selden.
to us.
Mrs. Selden, the now sadly deceased Mr. Ross and the defendant, Mr. Natsume, have only one thing linking them. The fact that they had lodgings in the same room.
Oh, yes. We know this, certainly.
A room that was formerly occupied by Selden. Until, that is, he was arrested by Scotland Yard for his involvement in multiple burglaries.
Yes, I see.
And it so happens that the convict Selden left behind one very substantial mystery when he died.
The some £1,000 worth of loot that he stole, which as of yet remains to be found.
Yes, of course. It's coming back to me now. It's written in this file here.
£1,000 lost en route to hell. That was how the papers summed it up.
And it seems that one particular fellow inmate was with the convict in his final moments. It's not hard to imagine Selden entrusting that inmate with his most closely guarded secret, the location of the stolen loot. Perhaps a key to unlock whatever container the valuables were left in.
You mean this key is...
Mr. Shamspear, it was you, wasn't it? You were at the capital offender's side when he died, were you not? What are you talking about? It is a false charge, I tell you. A false charge?
The name of the inmate who was with Selden at his death isn't noted in this file, but a simple telegram to the prison where he died would quickly tell us how false the charge really is.
But even if it's true, why would the man be so intent on killing every subsequent occupant of the convict's lodgings?
So that he can get into those lodgings.
Oh, Judge, come on, man. You gotta be able to put these two pieces together. There's only one explanation for that, my lord. It was in that very room that Selden hid his loot. Time to go on a treasure hunt.
So, it all comes out.
Yes. Now, having established that, all of Mr. Shamspeare's subsequent actions start to make perfect sense.
When he was let out of prison following Selden's death, he made immediately for Mr. Garadeb's lodgings in the hope of renting Selden's old room. However, the retired army man was unable to offer him the accommodation of his choice.
Because Selden's old room had already been let to someone else, Mr. Duncan Ross.
Which is why Mr. Shamspeare subsequently devised his gas-based plot to kill the occupant of the room.
Gas-based plot.
And when he was successful, he presumably intended to inquire about switching into the newly vacant room.
However, a certain jittery someone had beaten him to it.
Mr. Saseki Natsume, the defendant of this case, no less.
So you decided to use the ploy with the gas again, didn't you, Mr. Shamspeare? This time to oust Mr. Natsume. All for one simple and avaricious reason. To get your hands on the 1,000 pounds of loot left behind by the dead convict. Safe. Looks like I'm gonna snuff it before they get to stretch. Oh, looks like I'm gonna snuff it before they get to stretch me neck. Listen, I want you to have me loot. Anything to stop the coppers getting their mitts on it. It's hidden in the room where I was lodging when they got me. Here, this is the key to it. Take it. Always stay one step ahead, mate. See ya in hell, I guess. Shamspeare. See you in hell, I guess. Yo, damn. He's like, I'll be with you again later, bro. It's mine. What? What did he just say? It's mine. That loot is mine. That loot is mine. Oh, he's losing it. He's got a... Yo, Mr. Shamspeare, you look kind of turnt. It's all lies. I don't accept any of it. Why should I? After all, you don't have a shred of evidence. You can't prove I killed that fellow. Forsooth, I'm the victim here, remember? Isn't that right, ladies and gentlemen? Everyone's like, oh, fuck. If I don't admit to it, there's nothing you can do. You can't arrest me. For the time being, anyway. Verily, you can't arrest the victim, can you? Isn't that right, ladies and gentlemen? Oh! I'm so close. I just need a few more hours. I swore to myself that I'd get my hands on it, and I can almost taste it now. Do you really think I'd just give up? There's no question in my mind now. This man is guilty through and through.
But he seems so utterly intoxicated by the idea of that loot. I'm afraid that however hard you press him, he'll never admit to what he's done, Mr. Naruhodo.
There is a way.
Pardon?
There's one way I can finish him.
No.
He's already committed the most heinous crimes to get his hands on that loot. Which means all we need to do is find it first.
A fine plan. Were it not for the fact that the police thoroughly searched the room following the death of Mr. Ross. If it's there at all, it must be very well hidden indeed.
Oh, without conclusive evidence, I certainly cannot rule.
If only there was some way we could find the convict's loot quickly.
Yo, the cat will find it.
Yo, come on, Sholmes. Did Sholmes find it?
Hi.
Waga hi. This is the final piece in the complex puzzle. But I think we might have it in our possession already. Or rather, I think we may well have something that can help us find where the loot is hidden.
Oh, the handprint gun.
My lord,
Yes, counsel.
the defense would like to make a proposal
About how to find the late convict's hidden loot?
Look for some skin.
I believe we're already in possession of something that could give us a clue as to its whereabouts. It's our last chance, so it has to be worth a gamble. Besides, we've used the same technique once already. Definitely paid off then.
Because we found Shakespeare's hiding spot.
Very well then, Counsel. Let the court hear your idea. What do you propose we can use in order to locate the hiding place of this deceased convict's haul?
Oh, we don't have it.
Oh, well, can you show the picture of the handprints on the wall?
I could do that, maybe. Would that help?
We want to look for skin prints.
Yeah, do we go skin prints? Do we go skin prints? I think we go skin prints.
Skin prints.
Okay, we'll try skin prints.
Take that!
If I'm not mistaken, those are Mr. Shamspeare's handprints on the wall of his lodgings.
That's right, my lord. Exposed as a result of the defense's independent investigation of the case.
Based on a wonderful new discovery in the field of forensic science by the great detective, Mr. Sholmes.
A great detective? Is that some kind of joke? Oh, I like that face. Do you really think I'm going to be daunted by a man with such a ridiculous title?
Have you seen it?
I should think the great bard ought to recognize such a title when he hears one, Mr. Shamspeare. Perhaps we should compete for the honor of most ridiculous title. He's just there. Oh my.
Fight.
Yo, fight. Yo, suplex him, Sholmes. Hit him with your block. Gah! 'Tis Herlock Sholmes himself.
What are you doing here, great detective? Your usual haunts are the filthy back streets of the capital, are they not?
That's true.
Ah, Mr. Reaper, it's been too long. And I see your complexion has worsened since we last met.
Mr. Sholmes? He does know Lord Van Zeeks then. Well, enough to say something like that anyway.
Mr. Sholmes, though you may be heralded as a great detective by the population at large, that does not give you the right to come and go in my courtroom as you see fit.
If I may, my lord, Mr. Sholmes' newly developed scientific method has helped us uncover vital clues in this case already.
Clues, you say?
I call them skin prints, my lord. My method identifies every location touched by an individual under scrutiny. It's the method by which we were able to ascertain this gentleman's gas pipe activities. You need only a small sample of something the individual has previously touched to make an indicator solution. Indicator solution. In your case, sir, I used the teacup you'd been holding. Elementary. So now, Mr. Naruhodo.
Yes.
What am I to use as a sample to make the indicator solution this time?
Thank you for offering to help, Mr. Sholmes. When the convict was arrested, he was living in what is now Soseki-san's room. We need a sample to help locate Selden's loot that's hidden in his old room. What form will the sample take? Ooh, I mean, it gives us the present a person.
I kind of.
Something someone's touched.
Because none of this stuff was around when he was there.
Do.
Do you think it's on the key? That's on.
Oh, yeah, the key. The key. That's a good call. Miss Green, you're up. Oh, wait. That was the wrong button. Miss Green. Oh, wait, can I... Present a person.
Even though clearly her and Shamspeare have
Oh, everyone else has
all
touched
over
it. But I mean, even if you took all three of their fingerprints, only one of them will show up. You'll need something of Selden's or to create the indicator solution to find his loot. Something the convict owned happens to be in the possession of somebody listed in the court record.
Upon my word, Mr. Naruhodo, your powers of reasoning appear to be on the up. So, which particular person do you have in mind? From whom can we obtain a possession of the late convict Selden to create the indicator solution?
Miss Green! Give us the key. Miss Green.
Me? What do you want with me?
The key around your neck, if you please.
Sorry.
That key belonged to Selden. There will be remnants of secretions from the man's skin on its surface that we can use. Very true. That is the sample we need. Using it, we can create the indicator solution required for Mr. Shom's skin print seeker. And find out exactly what Selden touched in the room that he used to rent. Oh, Mr. Shamspeare, as one great to another, I assure you. If the late convict's hall is hidden somewhere in this former lodgings, I shall uncover it in no more than 30 minutes. So, Mr. Shamspeare, the truth is well within our grasp now, and as such, you will never get your hands on Selden's stolen wealth.
In that case, I'll gladly let Mr. Sholmes have this key.
No, give the key to me. The detective shan't have it. It's over, Mr. Shamspeare. No. You're out of options now. There's only one thing left for you to do. Admit your guilt.
Whoa! Is me! Oh, shameful spear! Despair! Be thy name! Oh!
Wow. He got shot by the confetti.
He got shot by the confetti gun. Oh, damn, he down. Everyone's just not looking at him, though. They're all looking at each other. They're just like, yeah, ooh, Oh, here we go. Here it is.
I never intended to kill the man. I just wanted to drive him out of the room, that's all.
So you'd have time to find the convict's haul of stolen goods.
Yet after you'd killed the young man, you still didn't move into the room.
Tried the same trick.
I asked the landlord, of course. I pleaded with him, but he refused.
Why?
I was 3 months behind with the rent, for one thing.
Mr. Garrett really has had a lot to put up with.
And he had the gas repair work done immediately afterwards, putting the room out of action for a while. And then this Japanese man swooped in at just the right moment to sign the new lease.
Poor Mr. Natsume. What unfortunate timing.
Then, 5 days ago...
Okay, wait, hold up. Before we even continue, what is the connection between this and the thing that Susato did? Because that was the whole reason we're revisiting this. Was because something happened here that's related to... Oh, wait, no, that's not supposed to be visible. So there's supposed to be something here that's related to the case in the last case.
After the incident on Briar Road, when the Japanese fellow got himself arrested, I thought I'd finally have my chance. But it wasn't to be.
No, the scene was sealed off and guarded by the police night and day.
And if I remember rightly, Mr. Sholmes spent the whole day in there reading books.
I couldn't even enter the room, let alone search for the loot.
Which is why, on the day Mr. Natsume was acquitted and returned to his room, you once again tried your trick of blowing air into the gas pipe that feeds into the stove in his room.
Unbeknownst to you, however, that action would lead you into a deadly trap.
William Shamspeare, how does it go? To be or not to be? That is the question.
From Shakespeare's Hamlet, Act 3, Scene 1.
Let me tell you, in your case, it's not to be. That is the answer. You deserve to die for what you've done.
Whoa! Yo! That wasn't me that I added. That was her, yo.
It was
Miss
all
Greed.
her.
Yo, Miss Greed is going, I mean, understandably so.
Get fucked, Shamspeare.
I feel like all you'd have to do is make friends with whoever's in that room.
Yeah, why didn't you just make friends with who's in that room and then chill in
be
his
like,
room
"Oh, hey, can you
and then
get
take his shit
something?"
and leave?
I'll
just
watch
gain
the
his
room.
trust.
Yeah.
Yeah, a lot less murdery.
At first, I really did think it was just a terrible accident. I'll never forget our conversation the night before Duncan died.
The gas supply of my new lodgings are a complete disaster, you know, Olive. The gas?
The gas supply?
Yes, the stove always seems to go out in the middle of the night for some reason.
That's no joke.
They say it's the convict's curse.
Oh, Duncan, please, don't stay there. I don't care how cheap it is.
All right then. If it's that important to you, I'll start looking for a new place.
Oh, there's spare rooms at my house. Why don't you leave that horrible room tonight?
No, I'd better not. We said we'd wait until we graduated before we told our parents, remember?
Oh! But that was the last time we ever spoke. That very night, he fell victim to the gas.
Oh no! Duncan, if only you left!
If only I'd known this was going to happen, I'd have insisted he left that horrible room that instant. But instead, all I've been left with is bitter regret. I stopped going to school, but something kept drawing me back to the house on Briar Road. I saw a stooped Eastern-looking man with a mustache coming out of the house one day when I was there. He walked up the road to Grub's Cupbery for some food, so I followed him and sat myself down next to him. He had some very watery-looking soup and started to pick a quarrel with the publican.
This place is cursed, I tell you! Cursed! The ghost of the convict who used to live there is trying to suffocate me! She's like, that gas was not on purpose. I wake up in the middle of the night, freezing to the death because the stove's gone out. The room's full of gas and I can hardly breathe. But those pipes have been checked. No problem there. It's like I'm the problem. That's what they're thinking.
But how could that be? Duncan was gone, and now this man had almost suffered the same fate. Could it really be a curse? Then I remembered a rumor I'd heard about how the gas companies go around investigating the gas installations.
A rumor? You mean?
Yes, everybody's heard the stories, it seems, about how they go checking the pipes.
How anything connected to the gas can be extinguished by blowing air into the pipework.
And that's when it started. A little flicker of doubt in the back of my mind that just wouldn't go away.
Bless you. Was it really an accident, though?
Once I'd had the idea, it wouldn't leave me alone. It plagued me day and night. So I bought this at one of the black markets in the East End.
Yo, you just bought strychnine? Holy shit. Yo, Miss Green goes hard. She went in. A black market?
I'd never been. I just heard people talk about them. And you really can buy anything you can think of there. In some ways, being able to get my hands on this so easily made me even more determined. I had to find out one way or another. Was Duncan's death an accident? Or was it murder?
And your chosen method for establishing the truth was simple, but highly effective.
I mean, it would only work if someone was trying to kill someone. Basically. Or, checking.
Well, I was gonna say, she just got a gas man, she'd be like, oh.
Yeah, if she just got a gas man, oops. Yeah.
But she didn't put enough poison to kill him.
Yeah.
Shakespeare was okay.
If Mr. Shamsphere was innocent, nothing would come of what you'd done. But if he was guilty, he would pay for his crimes dearly.
I found out the name of the man I suspected. William Shamsphere. And then I wrote him this little note. I have information regarding the death of Duncan Ross. Come to the Slug and Salad on Briar Road at 5 p.m. to this on 17th. And don't tell anybody else about this letter or the meeting. It is a matter of utmost importance. If he'd done it, I knew that it would worry him enough, so he'd be sure to go. So I waited to see if it worked.
And of course, Mr. Shamsphere followed the instructions to the letter.
I worked out where the gas pipe was straight away. So I smeared a good amount of the poison I'd bought all around the mouth of the pipe. All the time praying that the devil's work wouldn't be done, and it was all just some wild fantasy.
So she's just like, I kind of hope this doesn't work.
Actually, no.
No, that's not true. She was like, yes, I fucking kill that bitch.
All the time praying the devil's work would be done. The culprit would get his just desserts.
Yo, man. Yeah. I don't like it, but I understand. That's vengeance, man. Ooh. Ooh. Silence in the courtroom.
3 days ago, when you first stood in the dock before me, this whole affair seemed relatively straightforward.
Yes, my lord.
I certainly never imagined the depths of depravity that we should subsequently find lurking behind the scenes. I mean, really, there was a lot going on there. Holy shit.
It has been a long road, my Nipponese friend.
Oh, yes.
And one I certainly didn't envisage walking with you.
Nevertheless, together we have reached the light at the end of the tunnel, as it were. Miss Green,
Yes, my lord.
you will henceforth be stripped of your freedom, as punishment for the attempted murder of Mr. William Shamspeare.
Yes, I know.
She's like, I'm fine with that.
And you, Mr. Shamspeare, you will be tried for the murder of Mr. Duncan Ross in cold blood, and the subsequent attempted murder of Mr. Succ Natsume here present.
Soseki?
Sosuke.
Mr. Naruhodo,
Yes.
yesterday at the hospital, when you and your friends stopped me from...
Killing yourself?
Yes. From ending your life by drinking what was left in the poisoned bottle.
I wasn't myself. I can't even really remember what was going through my mind. To be or not to be, I suppose. And that's a question that's so hard to answer, it seems.
Well, personally, I'm glad of you being here, Miss Green.
Oh,
And I'd like to believe that it's a blessing Mr. Shamspeare didn't die when he ingested the poison. For your sake, at the very least. You get to go to less jail than
Well, you don't
full
get a
jail.
death sentence.
Yeah, you don't get
You
death
just
sentence.
get some jail time.
because of you, I choose life, not death. And now, you've made the truth come out at last. Really, I can't thank you enough.
Oh, thank you.
Oh, Miss Green.
Mr. Soseki Natsume,
Yes, my lord.
the court declares that you are exonerated from all blame in this matter. Again. Accordingly, I would call upon the ladies and gentlemen of the jury to present a verdict of not guilty. Please do it. Don't vote guilty. You've heard the trial.
We're in full agreement, my lord.
In that case, I hereby declare the defendant
Not guilty.
Woo, confetti. Let's go. I still see some black chairs for voting guilty. What the fuck, guys?
Dang.
The court is adjourned.
Imagine the judge is just like,
Soseki, if I see you here a third time, I'm just gonna send you to jail right away. I don't want to deal with this anymore.
But it wasn't it.
23rd February, 3:24 p.m. The Old Bailey Defendant's Antechamber.
Oh, yes. Yes. At last. Divine justice duly done.
Divine justice? My dear fellow, if there were any divine justice in this world, you would shave that mustache.
People really don't like his mustache. I think he has a nice mustache. It's like a nice bushy. A nice floof.
No, this has nothing to do with my mustache. Some say that a luxuriant mustache is a sign of physical prowess, Mr. Sholmes.
Locum student, Mr. Naruhodo Esquire. Once again, you've saved me from doom.
I'm very happy to have been able to help, Mr. Natsume. Congratulations on your acquittal. You're second in almost as many days.
I was first acquainted with and gained affection for English literature while on our great homeland empire. And then, by a twist of fate, I was brought to the land that bore the fruit of that literature. Only, the city of bricks and mortar became my prison. Try as I might, I never found my feet here. In the end, I confined myself to my room and lived life through friendly old books.
You've had such a difficult time, haven't you?
Ah, but a week ago now, I dragged you out of that dark and dingy room of yours, did I not?
Into prison.
You did, and I've seen more of life in this week than in all my years to date. I've had quite enough. And for the first time, I feel I've begun to see the true face of the English that's so far been hiding from me behind the wall of fog.
My dear fellow, there's nothing special about the true face of the English as you put it. Wheresoever one goes in the world, humans are human. There are few genuine differences.
Yes, I think you're right. I've finally started to see that, and I've come to understand something. I've worked out why I was attracted to English literature in the first place. It made me see that whatever our nationality, we humans all have the same hopes and fears. We're all just doing our best to live.
Well said. I've come to feel the same way.
I've made a decision too. I'm going to cut short my study tour here and return to Japan.
What?
And just when we'd become friends here in England. What a terrible shame.
Oh, I know. That does tug at my heartstrings. It really does. But I've decided I'd like to take everything I've learned here in Britain and write something of my own. A novel of sorts, I suppose.
Oh my. So you'll be creating your own literature, Mr. Natsume. How wonderful.
Oh, well, no, I mean, I would presume to call it literature.
Why not? When that is precisely the definition, Mr. Mustache.
I suppose you're right, yes. It will, in a way, be literature. But as of now, all I know is that I'd like to try my hand at writing. I've no delusions of grandeur.
I like that he goes from no delusions of grandeur
So you
to
see
the
in Japan, I'm amazing.
once he's in Japan and you see the cameraman
There's
behind
a
him.
reporter following me.
It's like, I'm such a smash hit celebrity now.
I, for one, would love to read your work.
Well, all things considered, it may be for the best. After all, you have once again emerged victorious. From a battle with the Reaper.
That's very true. I did do that.
And there's no salvation for a person in the dock when the Reaper is the prosecutor.
The desire to return post-haste to the perceived safety of your homeland is one I quite understand.
My goodness, yes. Faced with such a terrifying prospect. Nobody would consider that cowardly, I'm quite sure.
He's like, stop standing on this.
But that's not why I'm leaving. I mean it. I'm not a coward. I swear. Objection!
He has his own objection. That's amazing. And that was the case that we found ourselves embroiled in 6 months ago now. Soseki-san did indeed return to Japan and submitted a report about both cases to the government. It was on reading that report that Professor Mikotoba was prompted to visit the scholar. And barely any time later, Susato-san was given the news that she must return to Japan as well. On the back of a telegram stating falsely that her father had fallen gravely ill. Da-na-na, the only possible explanation that comes to mind is what happened after the trial on the following day. The day that we uncovered the loot hidden by the now deceased convict in his former lodgings. Ooh, I want to see that loot!
Have government's gonna confiscate it.
Government's gonna confiscate it. Shit. Gregson's gonna be in like, that's property of the government.
But really, it's property of the 6 people that guy burgled.
Not anymore.
Or 10 people, or whatever it was.
Who were they? Who can even say? Those
would
people.
have a-
Nah, we don't know who they are. They're now nameless folk. 24th February, 10:13 a.m. Mr. Natsume's room.
Oh, well done, Mr. Sholmes.
Ooh, I love Visor Sholmes, man. It looks like he's... I don't know why, but it makes me think of like an assassin from like No More Heroes or something. Like he's on his way to eliminate someone.
How simply marvelous of you to uncover the secret hiding place in just one day.
Wasn't it supposed to take 30 minutes?
As I believe I told you, my dear fellows, skin prints are extremely useful in such situations. Wouldn't you agree, Gregson?
Big munch.
Gregsy's been happily munching in agreement this whole time, you know, Hurley.
No, he's been pissed that they didn't.
Happily, I think perhaps humorlessly might be closer to the truth.
So, it transpires the man fashioned a hiding place in the ceiling.
And what's in it? What exactly is the loot?
Let us look then if you're ready. Let's examine the late burglar's hall.
What is that? Whoa, what is that? What? That's a murder clue. Uh-oh. That's...
It looks to be some sort of neckband or collar.
A collar? It's huge, though.
And look at all the gemstones in it, set in it. I can see...
Oh, the what?
Hound of the Baskervilles, that's the story he won't let get released.
Hound of the Baskervilles.
It's a dog collar with a
It's the Baskerville dog. We found it. We have found the Baskerville dog.
Because that also wasn't allowed to, that was too secret.
This is too secret. Uh-oh. Sholmes is gonna be like, Sholmes and Greggs are both gonna be like, nah, nobody knows anything about this, sell it.
I can see why it was claimed to be worth £1,000. Perhaps I could have it as a belt. Oh, have you noticed on the inside there? There's some dark stains.
Oh shit! You don't think they could be blued, do you? I mean, there's quite a lot of it.
On second thoughts, perhaps I won't have it as a belt. That's cursed as hell. Then of course there's this emblem here. A large letter B and a small crown.
What does this signify, do you think?
Oh, I hadn't noticed that. I feel as though I've seen that emblem somewhere before. You know? Where could it have been?
That's enough of that, I think.
Oh, Sholmes is just like, yep, that's cool. How crazy. Oh, because he knows.
He knows this is a don't talk about it.
What is the matter with Mr. Sholmes?
Same with the book.
Yeah, all the color's drained from his face.
Where she's like, I think
Well,
it's the best
Inspector,
book yet.
I believe you ought to be taking this, aren't you? It could be valuable evidence, after all. Must be kept safely under lock and key. Yes. Get your grubby heads off there, you lot, and hand it over now.
That is very strange that they're cooperating with him, and not Sholmes, and not Sholmes is just like,
I'll add this one to my collection.
and just like steal it. I've never seen a collar that large before, and all those jewels certainly look to be extremely valuable. How big is this Baskerville dog?
I mean,
isn't there lore?
As a belt.
Yeah, that's fucking massive. Oh my god. This dog's neck is as thick as like a toddler's waist. Okay, I guess she's a little older than a toddler, but you know, she's close. But that's not what stood out the most to me. At least, not once I'd noticed it. Those dark marks on the inside of the collar. Those stains. Could they really have been blood?
Well, that was a funny case, wasn't it? But it's all buttoned up now.
And you look very pleased, Iris.
I am, because I was starting to wonder what I could use as the basis of this month's story in the magazine. But this case will be perfect. It's been so fascinating.
You're talking about the latest installment of the Adventures of Herlock Sholmes, I presume.
The mystery of the knife in the mist, and the mustached man and the convict's curse, perhaps. I can make a 2-part story. Oh, I can't wait.
A word, please, Iris.
Yes, what is it, Hurley?
I'm sorry, but you can't write about this case. It's out of the question.
What? Whoa.
What? Why not? It's a great case.
And I shall have to insist that you limit yourself to the first of your 2 titles. The second must never be written. Is that clear?
Yes.
Oh.
Yes, somewhat guardian.
Somewhat guardian man. Ooh.
And so it was that the second of Souseki-san's
Oh, voice acted?
became buried in obscurity.
So that's why. So Sholmes was like, nobody writes anything about
Well,
this.
that's what I said. He's part of the.
Oh, 100%.
He knows what's the off-limits danger stuff.
Oh, I mean, we encountered that, like, once you know that the book was, like, locked up, it's like he's on
Now,
something.
looking back, I feel I understand.
I feel I understand.
I can see why Mr. Sholmes forbade Iris from publishing the story. It would take a little longer before I saw the link between everything that had happened.
And everything that was gonna happen. Oh, yeah.
For it wasn't until 2 months after the arrival of Susato-san's letter that events began to unfurl again, with an incident that took place at the very heart of the eagerly awaited Great Exhibition of London.
Ooh. I'm excited to know what that means. Da-na-na-na-na. I'm betting this is gonna be it right here. And da-da-da-da-da. Yay, the key of knowledge has been awarded. Save your current progress. Let's save. We're gonna save. And I think that's a good time to call it. It's 2 hours. It's 11. We don't want to start a next one because Return of the Great Departed Soul? That sounds cool as fuck. But that's exactly why we're not starting it. Because we have schedules to adhere to. Unfortunately, we are still realms of this mortal world and must go job and sleep and do other thing. But hopefully we had a good time listening to how that case, that court business ended, which was pretty nuts. I actually, like, seeing Miss Green as involved as she was actually kind of crazy. Like, the revenge made sense, but to think that she actually, like, went behind everyone and did all that was like she did all the planning and stuff beforehand, sending them out, etc., etc. That was all pretty nuts. Ugh. And also, it's now more obvious than ever that Sholmes is, like, super involved in whatever the Hounds of Baskerville's business is. And we don't get to know what it is. But maybe we'll get to know next time. Wait, let me look at the title art. Oh, look at that art. It's a big tower. It looks cool. Oh, what's episode 4? Twisted Karma and His Last Bow. What? The resolve. Okay, no, those two. Oh, there are too many cool things to look at that we're gonna get to, and we will get to them next week. Because for now, we're going to say thank you for watching, people. Glad to have you over to watch this. And we'll be back at it again next weekend. As for when, Sunday for sure. Saturday we're gonna see. Stuff might be happening. And Monday will be, yeah, that'll be happening. I also might try to find a time to slip in Metroid Dread, because I just, like, haven't finished that game. I played the game like 3 weeks ago, and it was super fun, but, like, I just never got around to finishing it, because Grace State's Attorney's Chronicles happened, and other stuff has happened, but yes. Anyways, take it easy, y'all. Hope to see you next time, and peace out. Bye.